Hello guys, welcome back to Building History. I'm Trinity and today it is episode 2 of building the HMS Endeavour. And today we are just going to do these first two steps here and maybe move on to this one. So 2, 3 and 4. We're just decking the planking the decks. It's a fundamental thing, but it's an important thing. So we're gonna get started and we're gonna nail it. Alright, let me get everything set up and we'll get started. Okay, so here we have the deck that we're going to be planking today. Just cut it out. It needs to be sanded down, but we're just going to do a simple, I think, 6-4-6-4 planking style all the way up. So 6 centimeters, 4 centimeters, just to give it some variation. So I'm going to quickly sand them down. I'm gonna take these really thin wooden strips. I believe these are the ones for planking. And we're gonna get started on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut out a whole bunch of 6 and 4 centimeters, and then we shall apply them to the deck. Alright, let me sand everything down, cut out the pieces, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so these are just the markings for the deck. These are the 4 centimeter ones, and then obviously that's the 6 centimeter one. So it just makes it a bit easier when you're doing the actual planking. So what you want to do is a 6 and then a 4 and then a 6 and then a 4 all the way up, keeps the pattern going, and that's what you're looking for. So down there you can see my one plank that I've done. It's exactly 6 centimeters long. We're gonna add it to the boat and I'll show you what the planking looks like when you begin. Okay, so I have finished cutting out some 4 centimeter pieces, very small, and then the 6 centimeter pieces, and I'm gonna continue with the decking of the planking of the deck. So we're gonna use some white glue. You can use super glue, but white glue works better. So if you make any mistakes, you got time to fix it. So we're just gonna not put too much, and we're just gonna spread it out. And what's gonna be nice about this is in the background there you can see my Santa Simba Trinidad. There. The planks used for the deck are very thick, so it is quite a bit of a challenge to cut the holes out for the masts. So this is going to be very nice. There we go. Make sure it's properly in position. Flush with the side. You don't want any gaps. Voila. And then we'll let it dry a little bit, and we'll continue with this first layer of planking, and then I'll do the 4 centimeters, 6 centimeter, and so on and so forth. Until this whole side is done, I'll do the other side in off camera, just to save some time, and then we'll move on to actually putting it on the ship. Okay guys, so a very important thing to do when you are planking your ship or your deck is you use a little bit of glue, not too much, so just like that, enough to hold it into place and set while it dries, and just want to pop it in like so. And then what you're going to do is, I am using a cloth, but you can use anything that you need or have. You press down, make sure it's in place correctly, just clean up that excess. You always want to keep it nice and neat, and that's what I'm going for. So yeah, just a little heads up guys. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I completed the planking of the first deck. Just need to cut off that end at the bit. That bit at the end. Yeah, so this is the first deck. It's complete. Almost done with this one, as you guys just saw in the time lapse. We're almost done with it. And then I'll be showing you how to cut out these edges here, and also the holes for the masts. So stick around, I'll be right back. Okay, so just done planking. There's a little extra step I want to show you what I will do for this edge, because yeah, some people might get confused. And then we're gonna finish this off all together, and then I'll show you how to cut out these pieces so you guys have got the perfect build going. So let's get started. Gonna grab maybe one of my scrap pieces, if there's one long enough. Okay, so what we're gonna do is line this up all the way at the bottom there, so it covers the whole deck, and we're gonna glue this into place. And then I've got another piece to go up here. You want it all to look nice and neat, of course. Even though this deck is underneath the other decks, you'll know that you put in that hard work and effort, and you'll just feel more satisfied with it. So let's go ahead and spread the glue here. I'm using super glue. Wood glue takes forever to dry. Believe it or not, this is my second day recording this video. So there we go. Just slide it into place. As you can see, my fingers are pretty covered, so don't really mind all the mess on my fingers at the moment. For the excess of this glue, don't worry, we are going to sand down the deck, and then we're going to make them all look nice like actual planks. So that's nice and in place there. So let's go ahead and glue the rest here. Just that little bit at the bottom. We take our last piece here. Everything's sticky to me. And make sure it's nice and in place, just like so. You're gonna kind of hold it in place so it doesn't move around. Okay, perfect. Just like that. So as you can see, there is a lot of overhang all the way across. I'm going to finish up this planking here, and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, so all the glue is now dry. So what I'm going to do is, we're not going to use this knife because it's a bit too big. Only on like the edges here. Actually, let me start with that. So clean up the work surface a little bit. These edges here, well, where it slots into the deck, you kind of just want to, you don't want to go and do it all one time. You want to do it nice and slow so you don't actually rip apart the deck. I'm going to start with this one just to give you guys an example. Don't want to go through it all the way on the first go. And then again. And again. And then as you can see there, so all the way through. So let's continue doing that. Well, let me show you what we are actually meant to do first. So all this excess wood on the sides here, kind of just want to guide your knife along the edge of the actual deck and get rid of it, just like that. You do this on the other side, and you want to take your time doing this really, because you just put in a lot of effort planking the deck and you don't want to mess it up now. Nice and smooth cut, just like so. And let's move on down here. Nice and smooth. There we go. Now with the excess, you want to throw away any of these pieces in case you need them later. And now we can cut out the rest of these, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so now you can see all of them are cut out. There's a little bit of excess wood here. So what you can do is use your little knife. This is the one from Oka. And you just slowly chip away at it. You don't want to do it too fast, because then you will make a mistake and you will have to repair this part of the deck. So patience is key. I'm going to quickly do that and trim off all the other excess around here, and then I'll show you how to cut these out. Okay, so we now have the ship cleaned up a little bit. So what we're going to do is, for these potholes, what you want to kind of do is slowly just trace the edge. This blade is flexible, so just trace the edge a few times. You don't want to go all the way through until you think it's right, because remember, there is a lot of planking on the other side. So I cut through that side, everything's still in place, and then we're going to do it this way, nice and slowly. There we go. So that you can see there does need to be a little bit of cleanup. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna, maybe it works best from this angle. You're just gonna run your blade down like so, and then down the other way like so, and just in a circular motion until you get it nice and flush. And you can also take off a little bit of this. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's smooth and it's round, then you've basically won. So then you look at this side, does it look good? No, it doesn't. And then you can do the same on this side. You just want to be a bit more careful because you are cutting against the planks, just nice and slowly. I think it still looks a bit silly to me because I didn't trim off this excess. Let me quickly do that. Voila. Okay. As we can see, there's still a little bit extra on this side, so you just do it nice and slowly. And there we go. I'd say that looks good to me. What do you guys think? I'm also missing a piece there and there, but we'll get to that now. Just repeat the process over here, and then for the last one. Alright, let me get that done and we shall fit the deck. Okay, so we did manage to fit that deck. That's very snug. It will not move. So let's quickly just, where's my sander? Grab the sander. I use this edge because it's just easier. And we just go over it and over it. Okay, we'll glue that down just now. What you want to do is kind of clean up the deck. So if you sand this enough, you'll see that the actual markings for the glue disappear. And you want to do it evenly across the whole deck. Just like so. Until it looks nice and neat. Until you can't see most of the marks from the glue. So let me do that and get back to you. Okay, so I'm happy with the amount of sanding I've just done. And now, this is the fun part. It's a bit strange to put it in, because you kind of need to go from the top down, if that makes sense. So you want to kind of fit them up here on the bulkheads, because the deck is a bit weird. So you just want to make sure they all fit properly. And then you kind of just push it in. Okay, so we'll start here from the back. Very snug with the bulkheads, as you can see. Okay. So you want to kind of put it all the way in. Make sure it's nice and flush with everything. Push down a little bit more. Nice and slow, guys. Nice and slow. Okay. There you go, the deck is now in. Just push it down until it's touching the bottom of the bulkhead. Nice and gently. And voila! There we go. Nice and sorted. So now what we can do is you take a pencil and you dot all of these. Gotta make sure you do every single one. I do not know where my pencil is, but let me find that and get back to you.